I'll put you over this side because at least you've got a chance of actually seeing the Severn now. Welcome back. This is God, I don't know what number day it is. I've lost track, but today we're going to be walking from Oldbury upon Severn to, well, either Severn Beach, which is the end of the River Severn, or onward to the centre of Bristol. Because I'm not really sure at the moment what I'm going to be doing. The weather forecast for today is not good. It's probably worse. It's going to be worse than the last few days, by the sound of it. Kind of remains to be seen, really. But the plan at the moment is I'm going to walk to Severn Beach. I'll probably get there about 11 a.m. And at that point I'm going to decide whether to continue on along what's called the Bristol link, which is like a 7-way extension, or to call it a day at Severn Beach and get a train from there to Worcester and then a bus home. It would be nice to get home a day early. There's plenty of stuff I need to do at home before I go back to work. But if the weather's good, if the weather looks like it's going to hold off and be quite dry, and my legs and feet are up to it, then I might continue on and do the Bristol link. I do have accommodation booked in Bristol tonight, so I wouldn't need to worry about that if I did continue on. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's if doing the Bristol link was basically still following the River Severn, I would feel compelled to do it, whether it was raining or not. But as the Severn technically ends at Severn Beach and becomes the sea, that's kind of job done. My whole aim for this trip was to follow the River Severn from its source to the mouth and film that, so I can make a video like I did with the Thames, sort of 20-minute source to sea video just showing the river's journey. So doing the Bristol link kind of is unnecessary, and it follows, I think, the River Avon, going sort of back, curving down and around back into Bristol. So it's nothing to do with the River Severn. I think they just added it on. I think, to the Severn Way, because it's probably a nice walk. So, and I would like to do it. It does look really good, the route. But yeah, like I said, it kind of depends on conditions, weather conditions, leg conditions, feet conditions. Yeah, we'll see, but I'm going to leave it until Severn Beach to make that decision. At the moment, the weather's not too bad. It's very cloudy, but some bits of blue sky. Actually, it looks like it's raining over there. But you know, it's like the last few days. It's very patchy. It's like areas of blue sky, areas of cloud. Just sort of thin bands of rain sweeping across. So yeah, it's difficult to know what exactly it's going to do. I did watch the weather forecast earlier. Yeah, it didn't sound good, but who knows? But what I do know is if I get to Severn Beach and it's pelting down, I'm not really going to be encouraged to carry on. And at the end of the day, technically, I suppose the Severn Way does continue on from that point, but the River Severn doesn't. So I think I'll be justified in stopping there. But we'll see. We'll see how we get on. But just be prepared for video of rain. Very interesting, isn't it? But I don't know. It can be quite dramatic. Makes a change. Almost boring, lovely sunshine. So I'll be passing under the Severn Bridge very soon. It's got very boggy just over there, so obviously the water comes up quite high. There's a lot of seaweed over there, but yeah, I had to sort of divert to the left onto these rocks because it was getting very boggy. Yesterday there was a point where I could start to smell the sea. That was really nice. And it was the sun was out a bit then. It was nice walking yesterday on the way to Oldbury. And yeah, it's just getting more and more dramatic. I think at its widest point, when we get to the Prince of Wales Bridge, which you can't see right now, but I think the Severn's 4 miles, about 6 kilometres wide. So yeah, it doesn't look 4 miles here yet, but still quite wide. Yeah, very different to how it was in Wales. So yeah, but no rain yet. I can't actually see how I'm going to get out of here, thinking about it. I don't think I've missed any paths. Okay, time to check the map. Well, that was hair-raising. I realised I had gone wrong, but rather than go all the way back and go up the side of this cliff, I decided to take the short, dangerous option and shimmy up this slope. And it is fenced off here, but I might be able to sneak around that bit of fence there, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend that, especially since it's been raining and it's a bit slippery. Oh dear. Oh. I'm not GeoWizard. I'm not GeoWizard, I shouldn't be doing this sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to go over here. The only other option is dense thorns, which I don't fancy, so... Oh, here we go. Still alive. Just... Okay, I'm going to need both hands for this. So that's where the Severn Way continues, and this is where I should have come up from the side of the river. So there must be a path down that way. So it should come from there and then over there, not scrabbling up the bank like I did. So that's a Severn Bridge over there. I left that behind now, and the Prince of Wales Bridge over there, which marks, along with Severn Beach, marks the end of the River Severn. Yeah, so that's still the River Severn there that you can see now. Beyond the Prince of Wales Bridge over there, it's basically the Bristol Channel, and then that feeds out into the Irish Sea. Actually bigger than I thought, the Bristol Channel. So that I think means that that bridge must be 4 miles long, which it doesn't look like from here, but so that was a nice sign there. It's a shame we don't have those all the way along the Severn Way. There are some, but a lot of them I've noticed the last few days have been turned around the wrong direction, or they've been damaged. I think I've said this before, that there's a lot of maintenance needed on the Severn Way. I don't know if it's being abandoned, or there's not enough funding, or it's not on the... There must be various councils that are responsible, so it goes through different counties. Whether it's not on their list of priorities, they've got other things that need to be done first, but in an ideal world, someone needs to walk the entire Severn Way and basically risk assess it all and say, right, this needs to be cleared, these trees need to be chopped up and removed from the trail, we need to do a lot of cutting back of trees and foliage, the trails need to be repaired or maybe diverted where they've got damaged or they're eroded, and then they need to put a plan of works in place to actually do the work. I know there's probably a lot of reasons, a lot of ways in which this would be kicked back, but at the end of the day, if you've got a national trail, if you've introduced a national trail, whoever is responsible, I presume the National Trails Association, you have to make sure that there are procedures in place to maintain that trail, not just so that people can follow it and know where they're going, which is very difficult on the Severn Way. If I hadn't been following the route on my phone and the Ordnance Survey app, I'd have got lost dozens of times. Because even using a paper map, I mean, a lot of people will be good enough to navigate properly, but you'd have to be looking at it pretty much all the time, because there's so many places where, and yeah, it's the same with a lot of trails, but on the Severn Way in particular, there's a lot of places where there are multiple trails or paths that could be the Severn Way, and you need, like I've needed my phone to work out which is the right one. I've still gone wrong in some places. So, let's check if I'm getting the right one. See, there's no sign here, but I mean, all the trails seem to be going in the same direction. Yeah, they need to. They've got a responsibility to maintain this trail and not just make sure that the signs are in place and it's easy to follow, but also that it's safe. Because there's a few places along the way that I would say are not safe. There's also the issue of landowners not really doing their bit to keep the trail clear and to keep signs and stiles in place so that people can find their way. And I understand a lot of it is down to they obviously don't see that many people using the Severn Way. And to be honest, I haven't come across, well, I can't remember seeing one person while I've been walking the Severn Way that looks like they were obviously doing the Severn Way. I've seen people running and walking their dogs. I can't remember any instance where I thought, oh, they must be hiking the Severn Way. So no, it's probably not a very well used trail. And that's probably part of the reason why landowners aren't maintaining it through their property, because they probably think, well, I hardly ever see anyone, no one uses this trail, so what's the point? But that's not enough of an excuse to not keep it properly maintained. So a bit of a rant, but the short of it is, compared to other trails I've walked, the Severn Way isn't very well maintained in a lot of places. and it is an established trail, so it needs to be, if only for safety reasons. So there you go, a bit of a rant. Just wanted to get that out. I wanted to say that before I forgot. It is weird, actually, that I haven't seen that many people. I mean, I know it's not one of the most popular trails, but still, I mean, it goes through a lot of interesting places. It passes by a lot of places, and a lot of towns, villages, cities even. You'd think a lot of the people there would want to walk the whole way. But maybe because it's not publicised and it's not well maintained, they're put off. I mean, the bit going in and out of Worcester, mainly going into Worcester, there's erosion there. A lot of it's overgrown, and they're working on a bridge, I think, so that's kind of blocked it off a bit. The section from Bridge North to Bewdley and possibly Ironbridge to Bridge North, when I walked it summer, it was very overgrown. You literally had to fight your way through if you couldn't see the trail. I mean, things like that, if a trail is being properly monitored, they would know when it gets overgrown, and they would go in there and keep an eye on it and keep that. But again, it's probably manpower funding. They can't afford to do that. But saying that, the canal I was walking on yesterday, the Gloucester to Sharpness Canal, there was a guy there with a huge motorised lawnmower, and then another guy further on with a strimmer, and they were basically, mowing the grass along the canal and trimming the bushes on the side that had become overgrown. So, there's funding in place, there's a system in place for that canal to be maintained, and that didn't seem to be that well used, I could rant all day about this. Actually, no, I couldn't. But it does make you a bit cross when there's money being wasted left, right, and centre on frivolous things. Even the government, wastes money all the time on stuff that most people think, we don't need that. What's the point? Where national trails, I think, do get left behind a bit. We should be encouraging people to get out and enjoy the countryside, rather than selling off the countryside to big corporations so that they can build more houses on it. Factories. So there you go. Rant over for now. I think I might need some dramatic music in a minute, because this is nearly it. You're nearly at the end of the River Severn. And that's an impressive sight. It's an impressive way to end. I mean, technically it's Severn Beach, I think, where the official ending is. And it does feel apparently like a bit of an anticlimax when you get there, but yeah, this bridge is more or less the end a very impressive way to mark it. So, made it to Severn Beach, the end of the River Severn, and it does feel a bit anticlimactic. But saying that, finishing near the bridge, the Prince of Wales Bridge, I suppose that is quite impressive. But here, Severn Beach is, well, it's just a beach, really. I mean, it's nice enough. It's nice enough, and on a nicer day as well, it would have been a more glorious finish. But yeah, it does feel weird. Possibly because I've only done 8 miles today. I think that might be why it doesn't feel like a normal finish, like the normal end to a hike. But there you go. The Severn Way does continue on, I think, in that direction, and it becomes the Bristol Link, which will do a sort of curving arc around and into Bristol for 15 miles. But I've decided I'm not going to do that today, at least. I've got to the end of the Severn. That's fulfilled my mission of following the Severn from source to sea. It means I can now make the video that I wanted to make. The reason for doing this trip in the first place, a video showing the river's life from the start to finish. Doing the Bristol Link, I do want to do it. I do want to come back and do that, but that's not gonna contribute towards that video. But it will be another episode of the Severn Way, so I'm not sure when that will be. Probably when I know the weather's going to be a bit better. But yeah, that is it for now for the Severn Way. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. I've enjoyed walking and seeing the various sites along the Severn Way. Yeah, it has been a difficult trail in some places, and it does need work, as I said earlier on during my rant. But I have enjoyed it. I mean, some of the sections were really gorgeous. That section from Bridge North to Bewdley, which I wasn't expecting much from, that was an amazing day's hike. Really enjoyed that. If you can get that with perfect weather, it's fantastic. But the sections through Wales were great. Iron Bridge was great. Shrewsbury around there, walking into Shrewsbury along the river was really nice. Worcester, Gloucester. yeah, really enjoyed it. And yeah, as I say, I'll come back and do this next section, the Bristol link, just to finish off the official Severn Way. I'll post that as an additional episode at some point. But for now, it's goodbye from the Severn on the Severn Way, and I will see you in the next video, whenever that will be. So take care.